The theme of the day, physical policy and built environment. In fact, when I saw the invitation, I was so glad. Sorry, myself. The reason being that the subject of the country now is about the tax reform, tax reform, tax reform. So if anytime people gathered, if they are not talking about tax reform, they are talking about free subsidy, they are talking about the forest unification. So thank you very much for giving us this timely topic for discussion. And in line with my area of expertise, investment and property development. I believe whenever we look at the data on ground, I usually believe that we don't have housing problem, irrespective of what data says about the housing deficits in the country, the urbanization rates. So what I believe is that we have investment and property development issue. And if we can get our investment and development right, the built environment will bubble. I'm going to Mr. Lawrence, please, next slide. I'm going to say that if we want to drive sustainable community that will keep existing, community that will serve us, community that will serve our dear nation Nigeria, these are the three forces that will determine the future, the entire future of the built environment. You look at policy, you look at capital, and you talk about enablers. And when these three key items hold one another, our aspiration of sustainable built environment will be actualized. I want us to have a little deep reflection, especially professionals like me in the house. I know we are good. We know how to mix cement, gravel and sand to come up with concrete. We know how to construct foundation. But I want us to realize that to have sustainable society in terms of built environment is not going to be driven by our technical expertise alone. We need to look at those other things. This set of, you can see here, we need to pay attention to them. How are they affecting every other areas that is going to drive development into our industry? Go to the next one. So on that note, we will quickly look at why did we need to keep building despite there are buildings everywhere? What are the investment requirements? The sustainable models that we need to drive in more investment, and also the mindset shifts that are required of us. One of the arguments that we normally face with, especially we that are developers, several interviews I have granted, they keep on asking us that there are so many empty houses in the town. Why are we still building? if you go to my page, you will see a lot of interviews I have granted with media houses, and I gave response to this. So because the people that usually ask us these questions, they are looking at the surface level. So let's take a look at this. The common data available for housing deficit in Nigeria is about 28 million previously, as we are quoting them, but recently in 2020, I think somewhere around January, a housing technical committee was constituted to actually bring out the real data of the housing deficit in the built environment, and they told us that we have 15 million housing deficit. I want you to have a deep reflection. When we say housing deficit, it means that 15 million people, your brothers and sisters, the same people that bear the same Nigerian with you, people that take pride in the same country, 15 million of them, not just numbers, they are in need of houses, but they can't have it. So let us humanize and internalize this data. 15 million people homeless. It doesn't just stop there. Our urbanization rate, meaning the rate at which people are moving from village to town, is increasing annually, 3.5% to 4%. And again, today we are over 240 million. And our population keep on increasing approximately 2.1% every year. So when you look at this, you know that even if there are empty houses, allegedly, you believe there are empty houses somewhere, we have an urgent and immediate need to keep developing. Beyond housing, because the built environment is beyond housing, but housing is always take the front seat because it directly affects our lives and the lives of our citizens. So beyond housing, go to your next slide. We have hospitality. If you want to travel, I don't think anybody from Sokoto here, so we are in FCT. If you want to travel to Sokoto now, your father, your great-grandfather doesn't have any houses there. You need a short-time accommodation before you come back. And it is the builders and the built environment that are taxed to make that happen. Anywhere you stay, you or your children must go to school or visit hospitals. We are the one that will make it available. What of the factories? You can see my sister here is sharing groundnut and sweets. These are being produced somewhere, and that place needs to be covered. As we are here now, if rain starts falling, we will not run because a building, a structure is covering us. But in the absence of this structure, what happens? Everybody will be running scatter. So, for we to have a functional built environment, we need where people will live, where they will work, where they will earn, where they will learn, where they will receive care, where we are going to produce and distribute our goods and services. And also, most importantly, we are all talking about AI. And you are leaving the builders behind. Your data houses, who are going to build the structure that will accommodate them. So if you look at this holistically, there is no any growth or development without this industry. So this should also make us to understand that we are not just building houses, we are building an entire economic environment. Because beyond houses, you see hospitals, schools, as I made mention of them. Then also, when we said our environment is sustainable, I recently met someone that moved to a new place. He wanted to enroll his child in a school, but there is no school close by. What does that tell you? Can you say such area is sustainable? No, it's nowhere sustainable. So for we to have a sustainable environment, you need to be closer to other supporting basic amenities. And that brought me to the argument that the only way we can unlock all these potentials that are tied together is through investment and more property development. Because with this my argument, it shows that there is need for us to keep building. So now we realize that we need to keep on building, but what is the funding gap? How much do we need? The Minister of Housing and Urban Development last year says that the government is committed in providing 550,000 housing units annually, and that will cost them about 5.5 trillion naira annually. So if our housing deficit is 15 million, I want someone to do math for me. Our housing deficit is 15 million, and the government will build 550,000 every year. How many years will it take the government to bridge the gap? The builders, we are mathematicians. How many years? So whatever you have, and also internalize it, the burden on the government in addressing this challenge. And also, there are so many initiatives on ground for housing. The New Hope housing scheme is there, the MOFI is there, the NHF is there. If you combine all these initiatives together, they cannot meet up with the requirement we need, the funding that we need. And also, up till today, our mortgage penetration is less than 1% to our national GDP. What does that show you? What is coming into your mind? I'm not telling you that the government is failing. No. What I'm telling you is that there is a huge opportunity in this industry, begging every one of us, please come and tap from it. Recently, the governor of Lagos State, in one National Food Summit, says that we lost over 12 million tons of food items due to lack of storage facility. And also to address that, we are going to need about 3.5 to 5.5 trillion annually. Then recently too, UNICEF published data that about 10 million of our populations lack proper toilet facilities. And that alone, to construct toilets for these people, it will require about $1 billion. So the potential is huge on the built environment. So when you are listening to this data, what it should be telling you is that there is huge opportunity here. This is a big market. So now, where can we have this fund from? Since the government have a lot on their shoulder, where can we have? So it means that we need to look somewhere we need to look at that three circle I drew the other time. How can we make these three together to unlock, to drive this money? Because this money to come, it needs your participation, it needs my participation, it needs international participation. Beyond the housing itself. There are recent data that a lot of data says that 1 naira invested in built environment has the potential of activating 6 naira in economic activities. And if you, as a builders, just think about it. When a project starts, all of us are activated into action. Just a kick of a project, the project will bring together builders, engineers, financial institutions, suppliers. So any investment into this industry has the potential to give us job opportunities, drive economy, and also create social impact in society. Because if you invest 1 naira that provides education or healthcare treatment to anybody, you have created not only economic value but also social impact and human capital development. There was one quote that a professor gave me when we were in university as we are about to graduate. You know that those days when you are in university, you are about to graduate, the next thing you are thinking of is where are you going to have jobs. So I reached out to this professor and I was lamenting, there is no job. He said, no, there is job. What you don't have is people that will pay for the job. If all of you will accept to work in my company without salary, I can absorb everybody. Yes. So the problem is, where will I get the money to pay us the salary? So how does this relate to this our conversation? Next slide. Okay, no problem. So how does this relate to this our conversation? It means that before any development can happen, somebody must see it as viable enough to commit his or her capital into it. So no building project is going to start until somebody is willing to invest. And if there is no investment, what will happen? There will be no projects. Next slide. There will be no projects. Some of us that are contractors here, there will be no contract. There will be no construction activity. And most of these laborers you are using on sites might end up stoning you or fighting with you because they are hungry and they don't have anything to cater for them. So investment is required because it is the ignition of the industry. I believe most of us house cars will know what ignition. It starts everything. So if nobody is willing to invest, hunger will finish all of us. We that are in real estate development, if nobody is willing to buy houses, hunger will kill us. So that means that we now need to look at the environment that will make it okay for those people to be able to invest. So since we have now understood that the investment is needed, investment doesn't happen in a vacuum. Investment happens around other circles of policy enablers. So investment is the capital part of it, but it needs policy, it needs enablers to work effectively. So now let us look at the role of policy in this discussion. For this conference, the theme of the conference has been dissected to make us understand the policy, the fiscal policy reforms. But my own take here is how any policy is going to affect this development we are talking about. So when you have an enabling policy, do you know what is enabling policy? Policy that relieve people. Right now, there was a litmus test in this hall that there is a land of 1 million naira. I see everybody picking interest. So what of in a situation when you have a policy that tightens your neck, that you have a competing factor for that 1 million naira? Will that 1 million naira come out to enter into property investment? It will not going to come out. So when you have an enabling fiscal policy, a policy that relieves people, a policy that gives incentives for this most important industry to national development, what will happen is that we are going to have more projects, we will have more supplies of houses in the market, then our industry will have that free arm to expand and grow. But when we have a constraining fiscal policy, a policy that tax everything, that when the rate of your taxes is being increased, your purchasing power will go down, and the direct effect will come to fewer projects, because people will not have enough money to even cater for their daily needs than even come to invest or activate the built environment. So fiscal policy did not only regulate our industry, it determines whether money will come in or money will go out. And let me give some little examples here. How many of us here are still actively involved in development now? Like how many of us that are still building on sites? Anybody? So if you are building on sites, how much, just by alone, how much are you buying cement in 2024? How much were you buying cement in 2024? 4,000, 5,000. How much are you buying it today? It means that if you have 100,000 that time, the amount of cement it is going to bring to your site, and the amount of cement, the bags it will bring to your site now, the gap is there. And what will happen? It has constrained us. The industry is going to fill the shop, and it will not be able to grow that we all desire. This doesn't negate the fact that the fiscal reforms that our nation is currently undergoing is necessary, especially for our long-term growth. But the immediate pain is too harsh in our industry, and we need enabling incentives and mechanisms to ease that pressure for ourselves. So if you see anybody in construction industry that gets angry anyhow these days, you should understand that they are passing through a lot, and don't take it personal. It's not easy. So when we talk about policies, even when I was growing up as a young professional, we normally think that issue of policy only has to do with people that study accounting or people that study economics. So what I want to charge you is that as a professional, someone in built industry, issue of policies should be your concern. Because when we get a right enabling policy, as I said earlier, it's going to unlock capitals that will flow into our industry. And when that happens, it means we are going to have more jobs, more professionals will have work, and our materials that are coming to our sites will be much. So pay attention to issue of policies. So, after looking at how policy can either constrain or enable the industry. So let's quickly look at, amidst these challenges, amidst these reforms, amidst these immediate pressures, how can we look for capitals into our industry? Or how can we strategize to ensure that we keep on driving this development? I gave 10. There are more. One of the advantage of this new tax reform is that it creates clarity in a lot of industries. Before, the new formal tax laws that we have, what you just see is real estate. Now it dissects them and breaks everything down. So that level of clarity has open window for our REITs. Next slide, yes. Our REITs, that is real estate. Again. Next, it's okay. So it's open enough clarity on our REITs, which is real estate investment trust funds. For most of us that trades in stock exchange, we know different types of REITs. We have UPDCs here. So how does this enable more capital to come? When people have confidence in something, when they understand their risk, to bring in their money will not tax them much. So it has opened the window for wider participation. So through REITs now, if you list your company, you can acquire more investment into your organization. Then the second aspect of capital flow we also need to look at is PPP. This is very common and popular. What we are just doing recently is by tweaking and reforming the type of PPP. Like the New Hope agenda, now it's a bit different level of PPP, because aside the lands that the partnership is providing, the partnership also provide infrastructure, and the partnership also provide investment guarantee. So that is another level of PPP. Then we have SPVs. SPVs in the sense that as a company, let me use our company as example. Instead of housing all our whole project under one umbrella, you can have a specific project for a certain purpose and drive investments towards it. When you do it that way, it will already de-risk the investor, because if I did not create an SPV for a project and I have 10 projects, I keep on driving investment for all of them. You as an investor doesn't know where your money is going into specifically in my company. But when I have an SPV, the SPV can protect the investor. If anything happens to my 9 other projects, the one with SPV will be protected, because whatever happens in that one it's not going to affect this one. So you can also use SPV. SPV will boost confidence, create clarity, and it will make more people to give you their own money. We have green and ESG popular going on. If you incorporate sustainability practices into your design, you have access to development finances that some of them can be grants, some of them can be low digit interest loan that can drive your property development. Then we also have blended finance, where you combine both institutional funding and private funding. Even sometimes it can also come in form of you use grants and also private funding or commercial. You blend them together. You bring different sources of fund under one umbrella to drive your investment development. Then we have rent to own, very popular, NHF, where you subscribe to a property, you'll be paying rent while the part of the rent is subsidizing the payment for that house. And we also have tokenization. The advent of blockchain technology brought what we call tokenization, where you can own a fractional unit of a property, just like the way you buy stocks and shares in stock exchange market. We have tokenization, and when this opportunity makes sure that more people can participate, more people can bring in their money. We also have cooperatives, which is pooling of resources together. We are an institute now as an association. We can come together under one umbrella and put funds together for development. If nobody is willing to give us job, we that are colleagues or professional practice partners can come together, contribute our money together and use it to fund a project. And that project indirectly unlock economic opportunities that we are aspiring. So, but for all these funding that we are talking about, for you to be able to access them, you need to be structured. You need to structure the financing. I talk about SPV. You don't just start and say, I have an SPV. You must pass through the legal processes that will create that confidence for whoever is coming to come. So you need to also seek diverse capital sources. Gone are those days where your egg and one basket scheme will work. So you need to look at several other sources, pick these sources of fund and this one, combine them together and drive your development. Then we need to seek strategic partnerships. We cannot do everything alone. So you need the strength of another person where you have weakness to move mountain. So seek strategic partnership. And when capital follows structures, when you structure your company, when you structure your project, one of the popular words out there is bankable projects. When they say bankable projects, it means projects that are structured to attract financing. So structure your projects. Then finally on the three set matrix, we are now talking about enablers, where we professionals, the builders, come into play. When I was a young professional, when I just started practicing early, my mentor told me one thing. One day we were on site. After the block lays, this mortar that normally drops on the floor, I was standing and I was looking at them. Then he called me and said, "Yunusa, come. If you want to go far and be successful, you have to start seeing all these things as money." Then right here in front of me, he called the mason that come and pack these things. They pack them, add water again, and they use it in another place. So what I'm saying is that a point has come where we should believe that we are not just executors. We are not just site supervisors. What I have been talking about and I was shouting since is about our industry. And that industry happened because of our presence. So as a builder, let us start seeing ourselves move from this mindset to this mindset. We are strategic enablers. We are the one that if all the whole money is there and we say we are not going to build, nothing will happen. So we should think in policy, as I said earlier. Let us become investment partners. When somebody give you project, try to understand where the money is coming from. So that later on you will not cry that somebody is owing us money for contract, the person is not pay. Because once you understand where the person money is coming from, if the money will keep on coming, you will know. So if the money will stop, you will know. But when our mind is fixed at it is building the same, we should build, make we build them. We are leaving a lot of oil. We are leaving them on the table. So let's move from this mindset to this mindset. Let's see ourselves as economic contributors. I have talked about how built environment affects everything in our nation. And we are the ones that are making all these things happen. Other things are papers. We are the ones that brought it to life. So let's have that mindset shift. If you look at next slide, if you look at this slide very well, if you look at it, maybe you invested in this project and something of this nature happened. If that person call you for another investment, are you going to invest? Honestly, you will not invest. So why? Because the investment you made here is not giving you what the value you want. So that this has brought me to one critical thinking you need to have as a practitioner. Next slide. I want you to understand that investors don't fund projects. What they fund is confidence. They fund confidence. Because I ask you now, if you see a project like you remember, you say no. So why? Because the confidence is not there. Next slide. The confidence will come through what? Quality delivery, timely delivery, cost management, and professional integrity. Very important. Professional integrity. In fact, when people ask me as a real estate developer, what is your selling point? I told them professional integrity. Because I'm a professional, despite other degree in MBA, economics, is not my first degree is on civil engineering. So I have that professional integrity. When I'm communicating to a building, I know that that building has the potential to either kill people or contribute to economic value of our nation. So as a professionals, you need to give this confidence to whoever is coming into our market. Next slide. So the key we need to unlock the growth and sustainability we are looking for, as I have highlighted on that free set that I showed you, is policy, a good policy, the one that enables investment to flow, the one that did not chain our hands. And we also need enough capital flows, more people to have that confidence of bringing in money. And for that confidence to come, we need professionals that deliver. Professionals that deliver. Not you are a professional, you take a drawing to site. The Y16 is there. When you are there, say, how much is Y16 in the market? Let's say 15,500. Say, how much is Y12? They say 10,000. Buy Y12. Use this Y12 to replace the Y16. And at the end of the day, one of the building will be doing like this. Then we say we don't know what happens. So we need it, because when all these things come together, our development will become the engine of unlocking the sustainability we are all clamoring for. Next. So the actions you need to take from all this my talk, everything from inception till now, is this. We need to engage for physical reforms. If you look at most of the laws, the policies that are guiding us, that are constraining our environment, we are a little contributors to it. And also, the people that implement them see us and them as people that are fighting war. So let's engage with them. Let them know that their work and our work is not contradictory. We are partners in progress. Right now, building materials are being vertical. What does that tell us? Cost of construction will go. Despite residential houses are not vertical, that one is another thing. But where the tax is coming from the source, where we are buying the material from. But if we have enough engagement with these people and make them understand, they can see reasons why to give us incentives for housing, and why they need to give us incentives for social impact development. When there is no hospital, there is no school, there will be problems. So we need to engage. Then secondly, we need to commit to professional excellence, as I said earlier. Let excellence be our identity. Let people see excellence in our output. Whatever you deliver as a professional, let it be something that attracts every other investment to come. This thing happens. I know it happens to a lot of you. Have you ever involved in a project before? And because of that project, another person will give you another job. Have you ever involved in a project like that before? I have seen it happen to a lot of people. But that also means that if you build a wrong project, if you build anyhow, people will be running away from you. So let excellence be your identity. Then also, let us advocate for enabling policies. One of the problems we are facing in build environment is that our approval processes normally take longer time. Why? Because the people that are passing approval did not understand us. So we need to engage them, let them know that every approval sitting on your table that is not being approved, you are depriving one or two of the people that are suffering from housing deficit in the country. Next slide. So with this, we should know that in every drop of houses that happen, in every building that we see, a family is served, economy is being activated, our productivity is being unlocked, and our investors' confidence are being improved. Next one. So I want us to recite this one after me. As a builder, let's say this together. We do not merely construct, we power economies, we build the future of our nation. God bless all of us. Next slide. Thank you.
I think it deserves a big round of applause. Excellent presentation. Presentation par excellence. Thank you very much, Engineer Yusa. He has taken us on a presentation of investment and property development. Some of the key highlights from his presentation, as I was listening, was the fact that Nigeria...
Thank you very much. The questions, how did you get seed capital as a beginner in real estate development? Number one, you have to assess your capacity first. Number one, assess your capacity in terms of knowledge. How aware are you in this industry? Assess your capacity in terms of funding. How much do I have personally? Then thirdly, assess your capacity in terms of your network and access. Let me give you an example so you understand that one. I often laugh at people that are selling something of 200 million naira, for example, and all the people in your contact, your WhatsApp contact, are people that just graduated, and you post it on your WhatsApp status. It means those people, they cannot be able to afford what you are selling. So you need to elevate your assets for you to have the right people that can buy. So after doing this assessment, the easiest way to enter into real estate development is, first of all, is to sell. That is, serve other developers, and you sell through what? Take for instance, you want to, your future aspiration is to be a developer, also build and sell. But nothing stops you as you are coming in to start selling for somebody. First of all, go into an industry, be a staff, learn the business from those people. Then secondly, you can be an engineer in that company, but you don't limit yourself to the engineering department alone. Learn how they market, learn how they get land, so learn all those ones. When you started having clients, one popular real estate company in this FCT that we all know, the MD was working in a bank, and he was an agent for another real estate company. So because he started selling like as an agent, as an affiliate marketer, one time he hit a set of people that are looking for 100 housing units. So now he has the client, the people that are willing to pay. So he just look for land and collect a seed capital from the previous company he was working for before to start his company. So these are ways you can start if you are just coming in as a beginner and you want to scale in. Then secondly, how do you verify source of funding? Sometimes the problem we have with verification is because we ask questions as if we are in the court. There are some people now, maybe you may meet a new girl, you are having conversation. Everything you are asking her is just question. Very soon she will start getting tired. And why is this person questioning me? I know all the men here can relate. Why are you interrogating me? But there are different ways you can have that conversation that the girl don't even know that you are making verification about her. Let me give you instance. About 2 weeks ago, I attended conference last year and I met somebody very high dignity there. Then about 2 weeks ago, he came to my office. We are having conversations. The question he was asking, like the conversation, the way he was moving those conversations, I knew that he was trying to find out the credibility of our company. But he did not say, "Did you people used to thief? If we give you money, will you run away?" No. During conversations, I knew that he was doing verification on me. And at the end of the day, after that talk, he said, "Okay, let's go out to have a lunch." When we are eating, we went out to eat with non-respectable manners. If I pick a spoon of rice, he will just laugh and bring another thing on board again. But at the end of the day, he ended up investing in our company because he has indirectly find out what he was. But I knew, because I'm not new in the industry, so I know how people make verification. Those are ways to verify. And for us that are in government projects, you can go and check the budget, how much money is allocated for that work. So if, for example, 1 billion naira is allocated for a job and you need 900 million to do the work, and somebody in the office say you are going to pay him 200 million, before you start, you are already going at negative. So these are ways to verify yourselves. Then finally, somebody talk about SPVs, special purpose vehicles. What it is, you use it to de-risk yourself, and I gave an illustration. I said that, take for instance, you are our company, Magdalene, for example. Presently, we have over 10 projects going on. So if I am forming a new project and I want that project to be SPV, maybe the project is at Uye here. You can name that project MC Dream Uye Limited. It means that that project now has a legal identity on its own. First of all, it starts from registering the business as a legal entity on its own. Then I'll come and meet chairman. I'll tell chairman that I have a project here. That project, it will require 500 million for me to build it. And I will build it in 2 years. And if I finish building it, I'm going to sell everything there, 4 billion naira. It means we are looking at a profit of 3.5 billion. So I will tell you that the money you are going to bring in our company, I'm not going to divert it, because one of the fear in development is that diversion of fund. I'm not going to divert it. This money is going into this project. For you to trust me, see, I have even registered a company on this project, and I'm going to make you a director and put your phone number to be seeing how much is entering the account of this project. So already you have used SPV to de-risk that project and also create investors' confidence. As we said, investors don't fall projects, they fall confidence. So thank you.
Another big round of applause for him. Allow me to add that the Nigerian should consider lecturing. Those in favor of this suggestion say aye. The ayes have it. Thank you very much for that eloquent presentation.